Another thing, man, I say if she's 18, over 18, paying taxes, and is responsible and looks good and is mature, I say beat fum. No business if it's your friend. What's up, fam? It's your boy Demuir here, purveyor of all sounds underground. Thanks for joining me on my YouTube channel today. I have got something super exciting for you. I just learned about this recently from attending a meeting which happened to have the folks from Loop Masters and Plugin Boutique on it. And the new discovery for me is this amazing tool called Scalar 2. And I'm going to show you how it could benefit you as a modern day underground electronic music producer. But before I jump into things, what I need from you is that SLC. Hit subscribe, like, comment, and more importantly, hit the notifications bell to stay in touch with the new videos that we have up and coming. All right, so why don't we just jump right into things. I think the first and foremost point is to understand what this plugin is. So Plugin Boutique describes Scalar 2 as an inspirational and powerful music theory workstation that will offer a whole new world of creative ideas, expressions, and melodies. And when you couple it with its powerful MIDI detection and audio detection tool, which I really like, and it's one of the key reasons why I had to split this video up. But you know, in addition to knowing what key and what scale you're in, it's going to offer up suggested chord progressions that will match the music idea that you're working on. So I said a bit there, but that's really and truly what this thing is. It's a groundbreaking tool in my opinion, because how many times as a producer, being like myself, where I'm very sample heavy, wanted to just say, yo man, if that guy wasn't singing on that piece, I would take those chords and play them over, or at least if I knew what the chords were, I'd probably do something a little different, because I can get around on a keyboard, you know, from growing up in a household with a classically trained person, which happened to be my dad. You get to hear things and it becomes part of your, how should I say, your musical palette. And as you're hearing these things, you know, I know, you know, what certain keys to press when I know, okay, that's in tune with the sample I'm working with. But this thing just takes it to a whole other level. So today I'm really going to be focusing on the MIDI aspects of it. And then in the next video, I'm going to show you how I work this thing directly into my workflow. All right, so point number 2, let's talk about the benefits. There's a plethora of them, and I just picked the ones that really resonated with me as a music producer in underground electronic music, which I think you will find beneficial too. But my first point here is the number of presets as a key benefit. They offer up a great starting point. I think there's over 200 artist presets in there, and then they have another 300 presets just based on musical theory and progressions. And I haven't even gotten into, you know, the voicings options, how to humanize the chords you're leveraging in terms of touch and velocity and swing as well. There's just a plethora of things to work with here. So that is the first benefit that I've noted. And the other benefit here is chord substitutions. So you can get everything from, of course, major scales to suspended chords to dominant chords and variations on those, like I said in my first point. But chord substitutions are definitely powerful items in this one. The next one is a great one. This thing allows you to create bass lines in what is called bass mode. So after you've figured out the chord, you know, progression that you want, it easily kind of shows you and demonstrates to you the bass notes based on those particular chord sets. And another benefit here, and it just doesn't stop, is drag and drop functionality. If you're looking at my screen here, you'll notice the MIDI capture piece. And again, I'll show a bit of this more in the second video to this because it's just a lot to capture. But you can easily capture the MIDI notes that you're playing or whatever pattern you selected here, which I'll show in a bit, and then just drag and drop it right into your project. In fact, I'm going to just show a real example here. So I got the Fender Rhodes loaded up here. I use Scalar 2 to determine what the chord progression was in this sample I was working with. So let me see. So you've heard that. So now I'm going to play the chord progression. It literally came back with after detecting the audio from the sample. So you hear it sounds really dope. Crazy. So as I said, I'll get more into that in the second video, but that is a powerful aspect of this tool. So when it found the MIDI notes, I simply just dragged from here right into the project just to show you what's going on. And these are chords I probably wouldn't have played it that way, but because it got it right from the audio, it just offered me a whole understanding and a range of different ideas creatively to go with. And the benefits just don't stop. The next benefit here is a very robust training, I guess I'll call it a training resource. They have a whole other YouTube channel set up for this product, and it offering everything from how to get started to how to put it into your workflow, specific topics on, I think, MIDI and audio detection. So really, they're setting you up for success on this one. So kudos to you, Plugin Boutique, for that one. And last but not least, when it comes to the benefits here is the MIDI and audio detection, like I said, and I just showed that to you in terms of the drag and drop feature. But I think this is just a huge game changer, especially on the audio side, and we'll get more into that in my next video on this one. But huge. It's a massive benefit from this tool. And point number 3, I think this tool offers up a nice introduction to music theory. If you're a producer like me that pretty much operates from what I'm hearing, and eventually you can figure it out. But I find this tool very refreshing in the sense that it gives me an explanation of what I'm doing and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing and why it's pleasing to the ear, or on the opposite side, why it's not necessarily pleasing to the ear. So I think it's a great introduction to music theory. And point number 4, I think this will become very obvious to a lot of producers, especially songwriters, but this is a great songwriting tool overall. I think as you're building demos, if you're working with a bunch of different vocalists or other producers, I think it'll be great for you as a songwriter to be able to start calling out the chords and the progressions used, and you can discover different variations based on styles of music as well. You got, looking at the screen here, like I told you, there's a bunch of artist suggestions in here, and I think it goes into genre stuff. So it calls it songs, but as you look here, I know the first place I'll be going is into some jazz, because I just love the chords jazz musicians come up with and the variations on them. So from a songwriting perspective, you really open up yourself to a bunch of different worlds, and I really love the fact that it allows enough space for you as a user and musician or whatnot to explore at your own pace and absorb it into your workflow. So it's great that way, and I think as a result, when combined, it makes for a powerful songwriting tool. And my last point here, point number 5, this is an immense creative opportunity. And I think I can't state it any more powerful than that. Let's just do an example here, because many times, when I'm making music, and because I could sort of figure things out on a keyboard based on what I hear. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. So like for a song like High, Live and Dirty, it took me about an hour to figure out that chord progression, like just listening, you know, to the keys and stuff, and to know I can literally drag and drop a piece of a sample or whatever, and then it'll show me the chords. It's cool. But this is another powerful piece. I'm using Scalar 2 right now in Logic here as a MIDI effect. So this line item right here is known as, you know, where you would insert your MIDI effects. You can also use it as an audio unit tool, obviously, and you'll see that more in my second video, because it will need to be able to detect audio as a result. And when it's in audio, when it's in an audio unit mode, you get a range of different piano-based instruments to select from. Everything from like a traditional upright piano to an electric piano to, you know, what sounds like a Detroit techno chord hit sound, into acoustic guitar stuff. So I think there's about over 30 different instruments you could select from when you're using it as an audio unit. But let's dive into the creative opportunity here, because this is generally what I would do if I wanted to start something from scratch. So let's take one of my favorite chords here. I think we're wrong. I'm triggering a sample. This is what I wanted to do. So Fender Rhodes. Turn that on. So one of my favorite chords here, C major 7. So all we do is we hit record. It's waiting for the input. Got it. And it's dope. It knows. Because I have it in, I've tested this as well. You do have the flexibility to do what I just did when you're using this as an audio unit inside of you know, your channel strip or in your DAW. I find the MIDI detection is a lot better, obviously, when you use it as a MIDI effect, because it's almost like a direct connection. It's not trying to monitor for audio sources as well. So it's very easy for it to pick up that chord. So that was C major 7 over G. Beautiful chord. And then here are all the other suggestions. So these ones, I mean, they're nice. D minor, E minor over B, F major over C, but you know, I find this one much more interesting. So, but I think the sus, yeah. So I'm just gonna drag this one in here because it's, you know, it sounds interesting to me, and I'm now starting to create a pattern of sorts. And now I'm just gonna say, yeah, show me some stuff over 11. Voicings, give me 5. See how that sounds. Hold on a second one. I think we're back now. Okay, sorry about that one. Speaker just shut off, so I couldn't hear it. Alright, so I like this chord, C major, add 13 over E. So you could see, you could just get crazy with it, right? So you'd be like, just throw that in there. Actually, I need to mute that. Solo, let's get this out of the way. These are all in the next video. So now here's another cool piece. I'm gonna hit MIDI capture, and I'm gonna start recording. It'll be like, I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna drag this into the project, and it's gonna play back. It's a little out of sync, but you get the idea. And here's the cool thing about it. If I zoom in on this clip, let me close this, and we come up here, and let's just zoom right into this clip. You'll see that the velocity is playing a bit different on certain notes, and it's not necessarily doing the same thing over and over again. And the reason why it's doing that, and it brings a really huge smile to my face, is, let's open up the plugin. It's because I have the humanize option on here, and so every time I'm hitting this, it's hitting certain notes a bit harder or lighter, but it's the same bloody chord. So, you know, that's just one option. And then I could throw on voice groupings where it's kind of extended the chord. It's added like a bottom note, as you can hear there. And then you got several options within those. Same chord, you know. So imagine you get a nice chord progression going. I didn't really find one here. And you can control the octave. It's just, let me stop the MIDI capture, clear that. But you see the creative opportunities are boundless here. And I'm not an expert at this plugin as of yet, but I'll tell you, I'm going to be spending a lot of quality time with this thing. This is such a game changer in terms of creative options, and as well helping you become a better producer, to understand the theory behind what you're hearing and why you like certain things or why you dislike other things and how it's happening. I think one of the most exciting parts for me is like here, where we've created like, this is not really a chord progression, but we created a MIDI event, and we can just analyze this thing and say, okay, well, what notes are being pressed here? So we have this key here, right? And then we go up, got that key, you know, and then you can just learn what you did over here, and, you know, over time, just absorb this thing creatively and do it the way in which you want. So powerful tool right off the bat, and that's why I wanted to end with some emphasis on the immense creative opportunities that are available here. I can't wait to share the second video with you, because you will see it in terms of my workflow, how I believe this is just going to open up a whole other range of things and just allow you to think about what's coming out of the speakers as opposed to the theory. This product will definitely not replace musicians. There's a reason why, you know, Robert Glasper could play one note and I know it's him, versus some producer hitting a note or drawing in notes on a MIDI channel or whatever. But as a result of bringing the two worlds closer, I think therein lies the opportunity for us. So definitely check it out, and be sure to come back and check out my second video. There you have it. Those are my thoughts on Scalar 2, my first reactions or cursory review of the product. Let me know what you think about this. I usually join a conversation within 48 hours of posting these videos, and it doesn't stop here. We got a growing Discord community with over 300 plus members that are like-minded and sharing other productive ideas and thoughts on things. So check us out. Much love and respect to you. Peace.